What's going on, guys? Today's episode is sponsored by Sonora Tires, Alakai Health, Toros Meat Market, Sleek Studios, Easy Leans Law Firm. Now let's get back to it.
Thank you for tuning in one more time. 10 Count by Deor. We're here with Israel Badway Mercado. Thank you. It's a pleasure having you, brother. We're blessed to have you here. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And I know we have some interesting stories. So once again, thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to get it going, man. You have a nice studio here, and appreciate the invite.
Nice. No, thank you. I appreciate it. We want to make sure that you guys are comfortable, that it's a good environment. It's you guys are having fun while we're actually talking about some pretty cool things. Israel, tell us a little bit about yourself, and give us that story that a lot of our viewers wanna hear. Like I know they always talk about the good stuff, but hey, I know you've been through some challenges. I know that, it hasn't been easy being where you're at right now. And we were just talking about that earlier. So please let us know. And I mean, I'm excited to hear your story, brother.
Cool. Yeah. So, I got 16 fights right now. I'm 13-1 and 2, 7 KOs.
Beautiful.
It's been a tough road. Obviously being a fighter is not easy profession, right?
Right.
So, I've been through ups and downs just like any fighter. Up until this point, I've been self managed. This whole time. I recently got a new team and stuff like that. So it's been road bumps, obviously. Up until this point, I had to take some B-side fights, right? And I've been on the I've gotten like the upset. I've gotten the upset. I got a couple bad decisions. 2 draws that I believe that were not supposed to be a draw, and a loss that maybe it could have went either way. I think it could have been a draw or a very
It's hard to see on paper. It's like you only had double the landed strikes, right, or landed hits.
Right. So
I mean, that's kind of one of those things that could go either way.
So I mean, along the way, I've learned to kind of roll with the punches. The politics of the sport, obviously is very challenging, but at the end of the day, we're still here. We're fighting, and I'm ranked 11 in the WBA now, and we're ready for a big fight, for a big name.
Beautiful.
Just to touch on it too is Israel's been doing this himself, which is I just jumped on with him since his last fight, and it is an amazing task to put on to manage your own career through this, especially the point where he's at and the fights he's put together, and then also be the fighter. It's a lot mentally to go through. I mean, you got to stay in camp when you don't know you got to fight. You got to stay in camp while a fight's on, possibly going to drop off, and you got to be doing the negotiating. So, we're real excited right now to be building this team around him.
Beautiful.
Just because, I mean, he's been doing it all on his own, and now he's got a team around him, and we're just excited to see this, this road where it goes from here.
Beautiful. Yeah. And dude, Forge is an amazing team. So, Andy, everybody that works there, come on, you're in the right hands. So did you is this something that you saw yourself doing, or how did everything started when it comes to, your career? Did you know, or at what point in your life, at what age did you actually say this is what I want to do as a professional?
I think when I was about 10 years old, I didn't start officially boxing until I was 12.
Okay.
When I was 10 years old, I knew that I wanted to be a fighter. I used to play ball, but I seen my brother boxing growing up. My dad was a huge fan, so I always knew I had it in my blood. Plus, as a kid, you scuffle around with other kids. I always knew I had that ability. I always knew I had a little speed, and I knew I could fight. So it was just transitioning that to the ring, which wasn't an easy task. You know what I mean? Because obviously street fight and boxing
Right.
is 2 different things, right? So it was very it was interesting trying to transition that, because it took me a while.
Right.
It took me a while to transition, especially with the type of guys I was sparring since the beginning. Sparring guys that had experience, they already knew how to fight, already had national titles, so I was getting whooped, right? So I'm getting whipped, and one thing about me though, man, I'll always show up again. You know what I mean? No matter what. So I think that's something that I carry with me now, is that resilience. But now it's it's different now. It's different now. I feel like I'm at the top of my game. I'm just ready for any challenge at this point.
That's incredible because, sometimes when you lose and you lose and you lose, you get discouraged, right? But
Right.
I mean, I think that gave you the fuel to say hey, you know what? I want to continue. I want to be better. I want to go ahead and work at it. And, that's amazing. And that's awesome, brother. Because a lot of people like, they quit in the way,
I've noticed it too with Israel. He's the biggest student of the game too. Like he's so involved in boxing to MMA, where it's like he knows every fight that's going on, what every fighter's doing, and you could tell he just loves it. Like it's when you see that true is like sparking somebody when they're doing something they just truly love doing. Like he's dissecting fights and getting in, figuring out how to improve himself, how the sport's evolving, and he's staying up to date with it all. I think that's one of his biggest attributes in the sport, and like I've seen that with other athletes, where it's amazing when you get somebody like that who just loves what they do and is showing up day in and day out. I mean, even if he doesn't have a fight, he's always in the ring training. He's always putting in work. So it's like when you have that spirit behind you, it's awesome to tap into.
Dedication. Were you always this dedicated when you were growing up? Tell us about when you were growing up.
I was growing up, it was like I said, it was tough. I grew up with a good family. I'm from Pomona.
Hey, I went to Pomona High School, brother.
Oh yeah, no way, yeah, Nicaraguan parents. So I spent a lot of my childhood there. We moved after my childhood, we moved over to Montclair, neighboring city.
Okay.
So I grew up around that area. But I remember growing up, we would go like spar places all over LA, like the national. I had 0 fights, man. 0 fights at 12 years old. We were going out to national to these gyms where they had national champions, right?
Wow.
In LA at that time, that's where like I think that those guys were like almost like the best in the nation at that time. Still, like LA, there's got a lot of fighters.
Oh my God, yeah, there's a lot of talent out there.
But at that time, man, like I don't know, it was just different. A lot of those guys that I grew up with sparring are not, they started gang banging or they started doing something else. But I stuck with it. A lot of those people we grew up with, they're no longer there. So yeah, we would go to different places in LA, spar those guys, and it was tough. It was really tough, and yeah, just to say a little bit, that's just what it was, man. Like growing up, boxing,
Did a mama was okay with boxing? Because I know
not in the beginning.
It's like that's my baby right there, right?
Not in the beginning, bro. Not in the beginning. At first we were trying to like kind of hide it, because my brother trained me.
Yeah.
So we would kind of try to hide it a little bit, and then eventually she found out, so it was just like kind of downhill from there. But she supports me until this day. So comes to all my fights, so she's there. She's there. She knows, she believes in me. She knows what I could do in the ring also. So it's like a big motivation,
And that's beautiful. Like when you have all your family, behind you, that's extra special.
Right.
That gives it more like, hey, you know what? Let me continue doing what I'm doing, for them and making sure that they're getting taken care of after everything that you pretty much accomplish.
And
that's amazing.
He's got pops out there.
Pops, man.
Every day.
Hey,
yeah,
so he gets to report
retired.
back into his mom and make sure.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see that kind of support.
That's beautiful.
Deep into the family,
Does your dad give you some pointers and stuff like that?
Well, he knows my style. He knows my style. He like obviously, supported me since a kid. He's retired now, so he's able to be like watch. But he just likes the progress. He sees obviously all the progress through these years. Throughout the years, and believes in me, and it's a big motivation, obviously. But he never wants to come in between. Also, what the coach is saying. We're doing this because I see a lot of like parents, even like now I'm 30 years old, like still no matter what, your parents you're like your pops or whatever can get in the way of that,
right?
So he doesn't get in the way of that. He lets the trainer do his job, and he's just there for support, and that's it.
Yeah, no, it's always as a matter of fact, we were having this conversation with another fighter the other day. It's always important when it comes like when it's organic, right? And sometimes our parents especially parents that, want their kids to either play soccer or be boxers. And, poor kids are like, I don't want to do that. But they push them too hard. And sometimes it makes, our kids lose interest, And then when it's like organically, when you decide to pick it up by yourself, that's something that it's always going to go ahead and benefit you even more in the long run than anybody, right? So tell us when you're like, I know that you're always ready because, like you said, sometimes they call you and they tell you like, hey, you got to fight in 2 weeks. How are you mentally prepared for all of that? Because I know that it's kind of hard, but like, tell us about that. Like,
oh no, bro, you have to be kind of crazy to be able to. No, yeah, you got to be like insane, like fuck, like I wasn't expecting to go, but you know what? Hey, I gotta put my big boy pants on now. Otherwise, you know, this guy's beatable. You know, I could watch the guy, he's beatable. But if I would have had a longer camp, obviously I would have more confidence going to the fight. But now I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. You know, this is a good opportunity. The risk matches the reward. You know, and like I know what I got. You know, I know what I got. So coming into a fight like that, it's like you gotta be a little bit crazy, man. You gotta be like, you know what, fuck it. I'm ready to go. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Let's go balls to the ball.
Has
Let's
that
go.
has that ever like gotten in your head too, where like with any fight like that, be like, man, I wish I had more time. That's that ever happened to you like before?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. You know, like
When
just
hasn't it?
yeah, just this year alone. You know, that fight I had in January versus this kid Leonardo Rubalcaba. You know, I fought him on in January on Matchroom. You know, that was a fight in 2 week notice. You know, I did my thing.
Wow.
It was a draw. Crazy enough. Yeah, crazy enough, it was a draw, and I'm like, dude, if I would have had a full camp, or like if they would have let me know sometime, you know, before, maybe like a couple weeks before, like it would have been a whole different story. But
You would have 3 times the landed punches.
I guess,
Double the landed punches in that fight. Still got a draw. Crazy.
yeah, I guess.
Want a rematch?
I wanted a rematch at first, but now it's just like, nah.
Move on.
Move on.
Bigger, better.
Ideally, who would you like to fight?
Right now,
Yeah.
shoot.
Like a fight that is just like this is the fight I want.
I wanted
with
Pitbull Cruz, or Rayo. I think
Okay,
Rayo would be a good fight, perfect fight right now. There's a couple guys, man.
Yeah.
A couple guys like this dude. You know, he's ranked. What's his name? Oscar Duarte.
Oscar Duarte.
He's
yes.
ranked in the WBA like 6 or something like that. So I think that's perfect. 11 versus 6, in a good fight. I think that's good. You know, like winner takes that ranking, gets closer to the belt.
There we go.
Let's
there
make
we
it
go.
happen, Duarte, baby. Or yeah, because I mean the fights that we had our eyes on at first was this guy Kurt Scobie. He signed with OTX. So
Okay.
the reason why I want to fight that guy was because I was with OTX. Our contract expired, so we weren't able to get that match done. You know, we wanted it. I really wanted it. I called his manager personally. You know, called him personally, and I told him, hey man, you know what, let's make it happen. They had other plans. You know, they fought some other guys. Opponents weren't as hyped or ranked at all. So I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. Who's next?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Did you? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you
you're
off.
good. No.
Okay. So then, yeah.
There's not much more to say.
Yeah, the
Right.
other guy
At
too.
the end
that
of the
was
day,
yeah.
like,
I
when
mean,
you don't take when you get called up personally and ask for a fight, and it's
Yeah,
like it's on the bar
and like-
where it makes sense. It's
yeah, and the
hard
thing
when
is,
they turn it down.
the thing is, I'm not gonna say that it's not the guy that don't want to fight me, because honestly, we haven't had any words.
Right.
I think it's more so like the management, the promotion, because I see one of their interviews they did recently. They mentioned my name, and I don't know, you know. And there's this other guy, Gorham, that was on OTX. So I'm like, okay, I'll fight him. Any 140 at OTX would be cool, because I was there. But at this point, I'm not signed. I'm a free agent. So shit, the door's open. 140, let's go.
There we go.
Yeah, Duarte or anybody else, the guy he just fought, or shoot, I'm open.
And then making sure they give you the right amount of time in camp. También.
Oh yeah,
Just a normal amount of time would be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, even with less, we'll still take it. He's in camp all the time, so I mean, he's never not in camp, and he's dedicated to it. So I mean, he can take. I mean, there's no ideal thing to take it anything less than 4 weeks, but he's in camp. So just if we
That's
get,
insane.
we'll make sure we have the right sparring partners and everything.
There we go. There we go. So I know you're always in camp, but when you have those free times, like, what do you like to eat, bro?
what I like to eat, shoot, man, I like trying different stuff. You know, like Asian stuff. Like I got into like trying different type of stuff, but Asian food is good. Just like different stuff, bro. You know, like
Favorite food going up?
favorite food growing up. I don't know, maybe like pizza or something. Like what do kids like, man? Pizza. Like I want some pizza. I want a burger. You know,
Yeah,
like growing up. But for the most part, I keep my eating clean. Just like you said, man, I'm always working out. I have to kind of like stop myself sometimes. I'm like, okay, you know what? I think I'm not gonna go to the gym today. Why do I not go to the gym? Because I already know if I go, put on some gloves, I'm gonna just go fucking ham. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just go out there, tweak something, or go too hard for no reason. I was like, I'm gonna just chill.
Right.
Just go run, take it light.
That's
It's
crazy.
been our only tricky thing with him is just slowing him down a little bit from time to time. Our goal, at the facility with Andy, is making sure these fighters don't just fight at their absolute best,
Right.
but also end their careers healthier than when they started.
Right.
So it's like making sure they don't fight on any minor injuries, making sure they're getting all the prehab that they can get. And, it's tricky, though, when you don't got a date and you're in camp and you're still, and he's like, it's hard to keep track of him because it's like, we don't got a date, but he's like, I'm like, do we have a date? Because you're training like we do, so it's like, making sure like he's not pushing himself more than he needs to right now because we want another 20 fights in him.
Yeah.
The tricky part too is that we'll get teased. They'll tease us with some fights. Hey, this guy. What do you think about a fight with this guy? All right, yeah, we're working with on getting a fight against this guy. Okay, cool. We start wrapping up the training. We train hard with my trainer Oscar Negrete. That's not easy training. Then we train with Andy. Obviously, that's hard fucking training. And then we don't get a call back.
That's crazy.
So it's like, oh shit, you're going up and down. So now we'll see. It's an interesting time, I think, in boxing.
Yeah.
I would like to defend my title at the end of this year. Because after my last fight, I won like a continental belt.
Right.
So I would like to defend that. If not, then early 2026, let's make a fight happen. So
There we go.
And we've been working with some great matchmakers that want to make these fights too. So it's a challenge when you get to this point because he's somebody that they need to be investing into, but at the same time they've already to get the fights we want to get with. There already a lot of people already invested in other fighters, so it's a tricky time. But this next, these fights coming up for him are all going to be, huge fights. Just because they're going to have to be. That's the only way we're going to make these fights happen. And somebody's got to risk something.
Yeah.
And now, a quick break to give a shout out to our amazing sponsors who keep this show going.
Powered by nature, driven by grit. Alakai Health, all natural supplements.
Los Toros Meat Market, where prime steaks sizzle and tacos come alive.
Drive with confidence at Sonora Tires, your Inland Empire family-owned expert since 1984. Premium tires, expert alignments, and custom rims at unbeatable prices. Visit us in Bloomington at 17,977 Valley Boulevard for quality that lasts. Thank you to our amazing sponsors. Now back to the show.
No, like we said earlier, your time's coming, God's timing is perfect. And, I'm pretty sure that sooner or later you get those fights, I want to go into a little bit something that, you guys were talking to me about earlier behind cameras. Tell us that time you got shot, brother, because it's a huge thing. And seeing you here, seeing you, motivated and hungry, it's just, it's such an honor, brother. So
yeah, man, I got shot it was before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Just wrong place, wrong time, dealing with the wrong people. Got shot, and that was obviously a life-changing experience. You know what I mean? It was a very I could have lost my life, man. So I got shot, and it changed everything for me. It changed everything for me. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to box again. I didn't know if I wanted to go and do something I didn't want to do.
Right.
I didn't know if I was gonna. I didn't know anything. What was gonna happen, man? Fortunately enough, I was I made some great progress, and then I came back. I came back to the gym. I came back to the ring. And got a fight, got back in the ring 3 or 4 months after. I don't know how I did it or what, but like you said, man, you gotta have faith, and it was a higher power, man, for sure. I had to relearn how to do everything, wrap my hands again, box again, everything, bro. Mentally it was a struggle, but thankfully, I chose to pursue my career, man, and it was worth it, man, and it changes your whole line of thinking too. You get hit with a bullet, man, and you're like, I got right back up. Right. I'm like, after that, in my mind, when I'm training, I'm like, dude, I'm like, how that's boxers, man. You get knocked down, you get back up. So I think that is a big reason why I'm still here. That traumatic experience right there just built me and just made an animal out of me, bro. As far as training and boxing goes. So I really it's like obviously it's unfortunate it happened, but it had to happen. It had to happen for me to realize and for me to continue fighting. Continue fighting and to stay on that right path.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a bullet, you can take anything.
Yeah.
I think pretty much, right? That's crazy. So
Making
tell
that
us,
comeback is crazy.
yeah. Oh
Like, I
my
mean,
God, yeah,
it's
insane,
just not
bro.
something people do.
No,
So
yeah, who can say that, right?
Yeah.
It's insane. Tell us about those moments, like when you were thinking, like, man, maybe my career is over. Like, what went through your head? Like, is it something that you at one point said, like, am I really gonna be able to continue? Did that ever like cross your mind and the situation you were put in? Do you regret it?
Of course. In my mind when I was like thinking those thoughts, okay, am I gonna fight again and whatever, it was like a mix of like, okay, I need to get this motherfucker back, whoever did that to me first,
Right.
and then I'm gonna figure out, so that was on my mind. But after a little bit, the time set in and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, wait, hold on, first I gotta recover. Because if I don't recover, I can't get his ass first in the first place. I can't come back to buy. I can't do shit. So first I had to walk. I didn't know if I was gonna walk again.
Right.
Then my just my recovery kicked in, and just my mind, I think, and my the way I thought just changed. I didn't care about certain things anymore. Like, just everything changed mentally. So yeah, those moments where you're thinking, am I gonna fight again or whatever, is just like, it's really all you can do. It's really all I can do. But before it happened, it was nothing. That wasn't on your mind.
Right.
Your mind was just doing what you were doing. And
Right.
what happened was with the wrong people at the wrong time, wrong place, and I paid for it. I paid the price.
Did you forgive your shooter?
I don't know. I never talked to him, bro.
No.
No, it's
But
like-
like in obviously in your
No,
persona,
I mean,
is it something
I
that is
was
still like
more
haunts
so
you or
like I was more so like, okay, if this guy's just going around shooting people, someone's gonna shoot his ass.
right?
So I'm like, so I'm not the one that's gonna forgive him. Someone else got to forgive him. So I'm
Right,
like,
right.
whatever. Hopefully I don't run into this fucking guy again. Because he'll
Right.
finish the job.
Right.
So basically that, I just thought that, if this guy's going around shooting people, this probably was gonna happen to his ass.
Yeah, sooner or
So,
later.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. I mean, that you don't, hold that grudge because, some people do, bro. And it's like it sooner than later, it's like it kind of like gets to you, to the point where you're like, ah. But that's a good thing, and that shows kind of heart you have, It's important to forgive, and sometimes people do things without even thinking, and like you said, karma.
Yeah.
Karma's crazy, so you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. But awesome.
Post that too. It says almost kind of notice a
Clip
little
that.
bit. His fights kind of look like a little bit of therapy sessions too. Get a little bit of that. So I mean, getting in the ring with him right now is a scary thing
I bet,
because
dude.
that's an unresolved, and he wants to.
Yeah, that's actually
know.
true what he says, because it's like once you do get a fight, you're like, okay, motherfuckers, I'm gonna show you like everything that like you've been keeping me on the shelf and trying to keep it on the low, but now I'm on this card.
Yeah.
So now it's my time to go out there and show what I got.
You use that as a fuel, brother, and
Yeah,
that's a
for
good
sure.
thing. And
No
then
reservations.
yeah, exactly. And then you get the upset. So
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
insane. That's amazing. Talk to us about the recovery. I know they have a great recovery program. I have to go and just kind of like
We'll get you
visit
in
the
there.
gym and stuff. But tell us about how's that helping you.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. I'm glad you brought that up because mentally, forget about what it does physically, bro. Like physically, it does so many. So obviously for your body, man. You're working hard, and you get to hop in the hyperbaric chamber. You hop on the PMF. It shocks your body. You get on the M sculpt. All that stuff is A1 for your body, man. Shit that people don't do. People
Right.
don't do, and only mentally. Like mentally, it's on like it has you on another level. You're in the hyperbaric chamber. You feel like a fucking Dragon Ball Z character, bro. I swear to God, after that you go train, you feel good, bro. Like mentally, that's like a big thing.
Right.
So it's like, okay, physically I did what I had to do. I work hard. I did. So everything you're doing is what you have to do. So
Right.
you're not cutting corners, So just having that, it's amazing. Having that plus the strength and conditioning, having a team, it just feels great.
That's awesome. You want to piggyback on that because I know you're.
Well, I love seeing him too because he's the guy that like you can see how he appreciates it and knows how important it is. And that is a tricky thing for athletes because a lot of it is passive recovery, so where they're not actually doing something, just laying there. But it's important to do, and if they can do it, they can dramatically improve their fighting career and extend it if they take care of themselves. We have the technology today to do this we can make fighters fight longer and stronger and end their careers as healthy as they started. And it's just whether the fighter can appreciate and can see that long term. And, you know, I do a pretty good job, I think, at the end of the day playing like, you know, a little bit of like a mom, like, you know, after training, grab them, put them in, you know, sometimes, you know, because it's at the end of the day, it's again, I remember I was an athlete when I was younger, and you don't like to do things that are just passively sitting around. It's hard to do.
Right.
We want to stay active as athletes. So can appreciate that. But no, he does everything he needs to be doing and more. So it's awesome we're honored to have him in the space doing what he's doing, because he really is a world champion through and through, and what he does in the ring, outside of the ring.
That's awesome. It's
It's
amazing.
badass too, to piggyback off of that. Like when I first used the hyperbaric chamber, it was when I had that last minute fight with Rubalcaba, right? So I had that last minute fight, and then there was fires all over LA. So I'm like, damn, and I was getting out of sparring, and it was like tough sparring, and I'll hop outside and I'll breathe the air, and my chest was just like, it felt like all compressed, you know?
It's crazy.
So I'm like, okay, I went to like I was before they had the recovery center. So I was going to different places to use the hyperbaric, you know, and then out of nowhere, they got the hyperbaric chamber at the forge.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh shit, it's on. I got happy, bro. I got happy because that's how I was introduced to it,
Right.
you know, this year too. So then after they got that recovery center, I was so fucking happy. I'm like, I'm going to use the shit out of this facility right here.
And he loves the cold plunge.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, it's insane. How long do you last in the cold plunge, man? I just go in there like, I
I
get
most
out.
like, like 8 minutes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I
crazy.
get less than a minute.
Yeah, there's other guys that go in there for longer, but I'm
Right.
like,
Turn the
What do
pops.
you
But
guys made
it should be like what? Like what's the actual
2-3 minutes. Is
2-3
fine.
minutes?
Yeah.
That's
8 minutes
that's all
is just
you
when
need.
you gotta, you know, when you just want to kind of prove something.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or when you're extra sore, you know?
Or that, yeah. It does get. I mean, you do once you get past a little bit of the numb, like
Yeah.
the beginning, you get a little numb. It does feel pretty comfortable,
Really?
you know. But you know, it's definitely a fine line around 8 minutes,
Jeez,
because you could turn into a popsicle.
Dang, that's crazy.
But,
man.
yeah.
I gotta definitely go and, you know, just go to the facility and just go in every single thing that you have there for me and see how it feels.
Do the
But,
works.
yeah, definitely. No, I mean, I talk to a lot of fighters and that they go there for recovery and stuff, and they love it. As a matter of fact, my friend Jake that does the soccer, he's like, dude, when are you gonna take me there? I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry, I've been so busy, but I would definitely gotta take him, and I think he had your number too, so I'll give him your number
Yeah.
and we can go ahead and
Yeah, we
go
call
from
it
there.
superhero protocol.
Yeah,
So we
definitely.
turn them into superheroes.
That's crazy. Tell us about when you're not boxing. What is it that you love to do?
Like doing outdoor shit, you know, a lot of family stuff. I got into golfing and stuff like
Oh,
that. You know,
snap.
just trying to do different like stuff. To just like I like being active though. You know,
Yeah.
like I work out all the time, no matter what. Like weightlifting and stuff like that. A lot of outdoor stuff.
How's golfing? I mean, is it like
Golf
pretty
is fun.
fun? Yeah.
Golf is fun, you know, but like, it takes me a lot like to. I have to have like somebody there that knows how to play. I'm like, all right, go ahead, swing, and he'll kind of tell you how to do it, and like I'll fucking nail it. But if I'm like by myself and just like I think I'm a golfer, nah, I fucking suck. You know what I mean? So it's just like kind of like watching. It's kind of like boxing, you know, like he said, you know, I'm like, I'll watch you, and I'm like, okay, I'll try to pick up on it, you know, ask questions and shit like that. But not a golfer by no means, man. But hey, might get better. Who knows?
There you go. There you
We'll
go.
do a top golf meetup.
There you go.
Hey, there you
there
go.
you go.
Yeah.
That's the way to play golf now.
Yeah, you know, I heard it's pretty cool. I've never been, but we definitely have to, bro. Definitely. So tell us about the fight that you think that was the hardest for you up to date.
The hardest up to date.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say I think the fight I lost on the L I took. I think that was the hardest fight. Just cause the whole lead up to that fight, you know, it was that fight was a 4-week notice. It was a 4-week notice, so
That's
and
insane,
yeah, and the guy, you know,
brother.
he was pretty good. He was some Russian guy, and you know, we started off. It was a good fight. It was a very close fight. You know, very close fight. I think it was the hardest though because I went through like a lot of stuff, man. Like in the beginning, you know, like the time zone was kind of throwing me off a little bit. You know, like I arrived, like it was just lack of experience. You know, lack of experience. You know, just a lot of things that happened during the lead up to that fight, and you know, then later on, taking that L. Obviously, everybody no one likes to lose, right? And it's like it was such a close fight. You know, that I think it could have been a draw. or a win for me. So I think that it was a tough fight, but at the end of the day, I learned a lot. As far as like, technically, obviously, but as much as like I learned technically, I learned like other stuff, the little stuff that could happen, like little things that just didn't happen on the lead up to that fight that we just gotta, I had to focus on and capitalize on.
Dude, given the fact that the fact that it was 4 weeks, I mean,
Oh yeah,
come
that's
on.
crazy.
I think if you would have had more time and
Oh yeah.
it
Yeah,
would've
when,
been-
when you hear it too, you can start to even more appreciate like what I was saying. Like when you're managing it all himself,
yeah,
it's a whole thing. It's
Yeah.
like time zones are an issue. Like there's so many little details that he shouldn't be thinking about, but
Yeah.
he's taking on these fights that are like, at the end of the day, a whole team should be coordinating this for
Exactly.
him. And it's a tough thing. It's an amazing thing to see where he's taken himself in, and gotten to where he's gotten. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like switching hats all day long. I mean, it's
Definitely.
a tricky thing while you're actually then having to put one hat on, which is, the mouthpiece, get into the ring.
Right, oh,
The gloves.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta
I think
definitely.
That was a tough fight, but also too like the fights that I had to draw on. I think those are tough ass fights, because for one, I don't agree with those decisions. There were draws. This last fight in Philly, I had to go to the guy's hometown. I think I beat him 8 out of 10 rounds. Being honest, that's what I seen, and one of the judges had it a draw. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh hell no, bro.
What
I'm
were
like,
you
yeah.
watching?
I'm tripping,
It's
so I'm
what
like,
the hell?
yeah. So it was a majority decision, man, and also with that fight earlier this year too, when I got a draw. Those fights are tough because you're not only going against the fighter, you're going against the promotion, the judges, the trainer. So it's like it's a lot. It's a lot, but
But it's interesting too because it tees up kind of this time in boxing where we're at, where there are decisions to make at the moment between like what's going on with like TKO and traditional boxing, where you start to look at it and go, there's stuff in traditional boxing that's tough to deal with, and there's a lot of things that are grass is greener on the other side. So we're in a process at the moment of really trying to figure out like what's the best moves right now, and I think a lot of boxing is in the same place. So I think this coming into 2026, it's going to be an interesting year, and how this year ends going to be exciting
Yeah,
to see.
definitely.
But it'll kind of set up how next year is going to go.
Who would you like to be signed for? Like anybody in mind?
to Logan Paul promotion. No, I was kidding.
MVP.
Nah, bro. You know what? If they pay, to be honest, it doesn't matter to me. It don't matter the promotion, the name. To me, what matters is you got me active. You're paying me my minimums. That's something that's fair.
Right.
That's it. Just keep me busy and let me climb the ranks and eventually give me a fight, a title fight. So to me, it's not like I want to be signed at PBC or Matchroom. It's not even the name for me.
Right.
For me, it's just getting it done. How the contract looking.
Yeah.
And if it makes sense, cool. A promotion with the good network that's gonna move me in the right way. Cool. I want to make some big fights happen. Like I'm not looking for any. That's the thing about me, man. I'm not looking for a tune-up fight or, I'm not gonna get here and talk big and talk about I'm a champ, I'm this, and then fight a bum. No.
Right.
I'm ready to prove myself and fight somebody, like I said, in the top 10, something like that, and put on a good performance for the fans. And the fans will be the judge. Regardless of the outcome once you get to that big stage, a lot of this shit is how it is, man. So,
of course.
at the end of the day, I'm going to go out there and give it my all and put on a good show. So I think that, it don't matter the promotion, just as long as they got a good network and they got I'm able to climb the rankings there, we can make it happen.
Definitely.
It makes it easy working with Israel on this too, because he's not looking for because the fact that he did it for so long, he knows what to expect, so his expectations aren't crazy. But one of the things that he does value is the promotion, taking an interest and supporting him in his journey. And the nice thing about it is that they've seen by example that when he shows up, he never misses weight, he always puts on a show, and he wins. So, I mean, for most promoters right now that are realizing that, with this new belt on his shoulder, it's something where they're starting to recognize it, and they're all been coming at him with, I think very high level of integrity in their offers. It's just about getting stuff done at the end of the year, which gets a little tricky. But we're excited to see, how this thing goes from here, because, the right promotion picks him up, and it's a straight to a world title.
Definitely. No, and the fact that you always, you're in shape and you're dedicated and motivated. I mean, that says a lot too, because you mentioned now people not making weight. Man, there's a lot of fighters out there that haven't been making weight lately. I mean, it's just insane. It's insane.
Or just don't show up.
Or they don't show up. Yes.
Physically sometimes too, but also then just mentally.
Yeah.
These fights that get put together, some of them just aren't showing up.
Yeah, and then it sucks for you guys because then you do all the work. You're like there. You're like, and it's like when that happens, I think it's such a bummer, man. It's such a disrespect, more than anything.
Crazy sport.
Yeah, definitely. But tell us a little bit more about once you get signed, whoever signs you, and you pretty much be where you're at. What's next for you? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Shoot, you're holding a strap, at least maybe 2 straps. You never know, So I think that, and I think these upcoming years, boxing is gonna take we see a lot of changes in boxing with a lot of different networks and stuff like that. So I see myself being a part of those big fights. Maybe being part of a big undercard or being in a big fight myself, maybe as a main event. You never know, So I'm just gotta stay busy and just kind of stay on that same mindset that I've been on. So I think that I'm gonna be part of the new wave of the big events that are coming. So I see myself being a part of those big events, fighting for titles.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for giving us your time. Anything you want to tell your fans?
Hey, man, just stay tuned. We're ready to put on more exciting shows. I appreciate you, Caesar, here at Deor. And we're coming with heat, man. We're coming with heat. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep working, and I appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for giving us your time. And we got to do part 2, definitely.
For sure.
All right. Thank you so much.